It was late evening on a quiet, empty road just outside the city, where the streetlights flickered weakly against the darkness. The air smelled of gasoline and dust, and the silence of the night was broken only by the occasional rush of passing cars. On the side of the road, a man in worn-out jeans and a faded shirt knelt beside a rusty old pickup truck, his hands covered in grease and dirt. He wasn't fixing his own car. He was fixing a stranger's flat tire. His name was Daniel, a single father trying to make ends meet, a man whose life had been defined by struggle, loss, and sacrifice. He had no riches, no fancy possessions, no social recognition. What he had was heart. If you're watching this story and you believe in the power of second chances, in the magic of moonlight, and in the beauty of kindness, take a moment right now to like this video. Subscribe to Moonlight Stories and share this message of hope with others who need it, because sometimes all it takes is one small act of kindness to change a life forever. Daniel had grown used to hardship. Ever since his wife passed away years ago, he had been raising his young daughter alone. He worked double shifts at a mechanic shop during the day and picked up odd jobs at night just to keep food on the table. Their tiny two-room apartment was barely big enough to hold the weight of their struggles, yet within those walls was all the love he had left to give. His daughter, Lily, was the light of his world, and every sacrifice he made was for her. But there were nights when he would stare at the cracked ceiling, wondering how much longer he could keep going. Bills piled higher than his paychecks, and he often skipped meals so Lily wouldn't have to. Still, he carried on because fathers don't quit. That night, as he walked home from a late shift, he noticed a sleek black car pulled over with its hazard lights flashing. A woman stood beside it, clearly frustrated, struggling to change the tire in the dim light. Without hesitation, Daniel stopped. He could have kept walking. He was tired, hungry, and drained from the day, but compassion outweighed exhaustion. He offered to help. She hesitated at first, but when she saw the sincerity in his eyes, she stepped aside. Within minutes, Daniel was on the ground, loosening bolts, replacing the tire, and making sure everything was safe. When he finished, he stood up, wiping the sweat and dirt from his face, and simply smiled. She reached into her purse to hand him money, but he shook his head. "No, ma'am," he said softly. "Just drive safe." Then he picked up his old backpack and continued walking down the road. What the woman didn't know was that Daniel hadn't eaten dinner that night. He had exactly $12 left in his pocket, and that was meant for groceries the next day. He wasn't a man who had much to give, but he gave anyway. Because kindness wasn't about what you had did, was about who you were. The next morning, Daniel returned to work at the mechanic shop, unaware that his life was about to take a turn he never imagined. The same sleek car he had helped the night before pulled up outside the shop. Out stepped the woman from last night, but this time she wasn't dressed in casual clothes. She wore a perfectly tailored suit, her presence commanding the room. Entire staff paused to look at her. She walked straight up to Daniel, her eyes filled not with pity, but with respect. She introduced herself as a CEO of one of the largest companies in the city, millionaire whose name carried weight in the business world. What happened next didn't feel real to Daniel. She told him she had been deeply moved by his act of kindness, especially because he refused payment. She said in a world where everyone seems to want something in return, he stood out by giving freely. She then explained that she wanted to help him not with charity, but with an opportunity. She offered him a position in her company's automotive division, a chance to use his skills as a mechanic on a larger scale, with training, benefits, and a salary far beyond anything he had ever known. At first, Daniel didn't know what to say. His mind raced back to Lily, 2 unpaid bills, 2 nights of worry. Could this really be happening? Was this real? As the days passed, his life transformed. Daniel was no longer just surviving. he was finally living. He was able to move into a better apartment, provide healthy meals for Lily, and even start saving for her future. But more than the financial blessing, what changed his heart was the reminder that kindness had power. The smallest act, one tire fixed for free, opened doors that years of struggle could not. It was as if the universe had whispered back to him, "I see you. I see your sacrifices. And now it's time for restoration." This story is not just about Daniel. It's about all of us. Every one of us has moments where we feel unseen, unnoticed, and exhausted. We give and wonder if it even matters. But this is proof does matter. What you do in kindness, in humility, in love, does not go unseen. And sometimes, in the most unexpected ways, it comes back multiplied. If this story touched your heart, please don't leave without showing love to this channel. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Moonlight Stories so we can keep bringing you powerful stories of faith, kindness, and second chances. Before we end, here's a special request. Comment below with the words, "Kindness changes everything," if you believe that even the smallest good deed can transform a life. Your comment might inspire someone else who desperately needs encouragement today.